Y'all just foda, né?
Listen, we got a crazy story today. We have a literal Chinese spy balloon flying over the U.S. continental airspace. Does it feel a little bit like WW3? Because if you ask me, it feels like we're definitely headed there. Chinese spy balloon spotted over western U.S. from the Pentagon. This is from Politico.com. Oh boy. One of the places the balloon was spotted was Montana, which is home to one of the nation's 3 nuclear silo fields at Malmstrom Air Force Base. Now you have to understand how absurd this is, that we are even letting, like, how is it even over our airspace right now? The fact that it even got into our airspace means that it either, two things, either one, it went completely unnoticed and we didn't pick it up, which is bad. Or B, the other option is we knew it was coming, we allowed it into our airspace, and now that it got spotted and now all the news is broke, they're like playing damage control on this? I really don't understand. You know, that was always the idea, I guess, or at least told to me, or at least how it's been explained to me, is that we don't even have to have any fear of something entering our airspace because of how much military technology that we have based on like tracking, satellite data, information, and everything all the like. So I'm gonna need like a very good explanation as to how this thing's even being allowed over the airspace. The article reads, the U.S. is tracking a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that has been spotted over U.S. airspace for a couple of days, but the Pentagon decided not to shoot it down due to risks of harm for people on the ground. And that's probably why you would have shot it down before it made it into our airspace. You know, it's not like our airspace starts right where the continent is. There's like definite like phases of zones for which they give you warning the closer you get to our airspace. It's like they have this stuff mapped out. The discovery of the balloon puts a further strain on U.S. and China relations at a time of heightened tensions. A senior defense official told Pentagon reporters that the U.S. has very high confidence it is a Chinese high-altitude balloon, and it was flying over sensitive sites to collect information. One of the places the balloon was spotted was Montana, which is home to one of the nation's 3 nuclear missile silo fields at Malmstrom Air Force Base. The official spoke on condition of anonymity. They continue. He said it is currently traveling at an altitude well above commercial air traffic and does not present a military or physical threat to people on the ground. He said similar balloon activity has been seen in the past several years. Yet the U.S. took steps to ensure it did not collect sensitive information. So we did have some kind of response. This is even one of the headline of Timcast IRL. The U.S. did get fighter jets, including F-22s, ready to shoot down the balloon if ordered to. The Pentagon ultimately recommended against it, noting that even as the balloon was over a sparsely populated area of Montana, its size would create a debris field large enough that it could have put people at risk. It is not clear what the military was doing to prevent it from collecting sensitive information or what will happen with the balloon if it isn't shot down. Well, if it's not shot down, it's just going to probably stay there and keep collecting information, like, duh. The defense official said the spy balloon was trying to fly over the Montana missile fields, but the U.S. has assessed the balloon has limited value in terms of providing Chinese intelligence it couldn't already collect by other means, such through spy satellites. I'm probably going to disagree. We're going to go off of this. I don't think so. I think that the entire reason that they have the balloon is because it can do something that satellite probably can't. It's something it needs to be closer to the ground for. Or else, what reason would it exist? And so for China's response, you know, we have a tweet here from Ben Shapiro. China says that this is a weather balloon that blew off course into Montana. What precisely was the intended course? Again from Ben Shapiro. It is pathetic that the president has effectively allowed an obvious spy overflight of our country by an enemy foreign power. The Chinese sent a balloon either because it could do something satellites couldn't, or as a show of strength. Either way, Biden's decision is cowardice. And it is very true. You know, it's been repeated extremely often that when Trump was in office, these things weren't even considered a possibility because of the way he carried himself and the air of power that he carried with him. You know, it wasn't that he's this almighty iron-willed ruler. It's more like he is the crazy orange man, and don't mess with me. I am, I am Trump the apprentice master. I'm Trump the president. I'm Trump the ambiguous orange cult leader. You know, people actually feared him. What they don't fear is a just broken down, you know, close to retirement, just feeble, fragile, weak-willed old man that is Joe Biden. And to be honest, it's probably more than likely that this is some kind of show of strength from China, and it might not even be a show of strength. It could just be a show of weakness. The fact that this was allowed into the airspace, it's been here for a couple of days. We are choosing not to take action against it. It's just like a big bend over and like, you know, do whatever you want. Like, we don't care, we'll let you do it. I think if anything, the fear mongering comes from the fact that we're just doing nothing about it, and now you're seeing Congress people being like, shoot it down, shoot it down. This is from NBC News. Republicans blast Biden, saying suspected Chinese spy balloon proves the U.S. isn't deterring Z. Yeah, even the call from Trump here. Trump posted on his platform, Truth Social, shoot down the balloon. Several top Republicans, including Trump himself, called on the Biden administration to shoot down the balloon. And so I guess a classified briefing for all senators focused on China was scheduled for February 15th. Before the reports of this, by fat chance of that happening now, probably need to move that up. This is exactly what I said, because this is how the phasing of the airspace works. Like, read this. This is from NBC News. Senator Tom Cotton speaking. President Biden should stop coddling and appeasing the Chinese communists. Bring the balloon down now and exploit its tech package, which should be an intelligence bonanza. And President Biden and Secretary Austin need to answer if this balloon was detected over Alaskan airspace. If so, why didn't we bring it down there? If not, why not? As usual, the Chinese communist provocations have been met with weakness and hand-wringing. It's powerful. Even Marco Rubio. It was a mistake to not shoot down that Chinese spy balloon when it was over a sparsely populated area. This is not some hot air balloon. It has a large payload of sensors, roughly the size of 2 city buses, and the ability to maneuver independently. China said that it was a civilian airship. That's just a joke. They're just laughing in your face at this point. It's laughable, like our response to this. I think you guys need to be getting prepared. There needs to be a better approach that we all have when we move forward. Keeping in mind the tenacity and how quickly like things can be taken from you if things do hit the fan. Like, guys, we are already in a very, very tight economic state. If more things come down the pipe of this nature, you need to be preparing yourselves. You need to be looking forward, thinking about the things that you need to have on hand in preparation. There's plenty of places you can go that offer anywhere from like basic survival kits all the way to a full doomsday prepper guide. And I'm not saying completely bunker out and like get ready. I mean, maybe you should. Maybe you should completely bunker out. But I guess that's not really my point of what I'm saying. What I'm trying to tell you is you need to get your head screwed on straight. Open your eyes. Pull yourself out of the matrix a little bit. Worry about yourself, your family, your loved ones, the people you care about. Make sure they're safe. Make sure you have plans if things go away. Like if you lose electricity, if you lose water, if you don't have food, like what are your next options? What is A? What is B? What is C? Because if options A, B, and C are cupboards 1, 2, and 3 of your own apartment, whether you're not in a good spot. And the last thing I had on this, because I caught this earlier this morning, if I can find it. Yes, here we go. This is from a tweet from the Post Millennial, but it's Jack Posobiec from Human Events. This is about an hour ago. AOC funneled cash to Chinese foreign agent for campaign ads.
A story of our favorite congresswoman, your favorite and mine, Alex Stein's favorite congresswoman by far, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, it has now been reported, has funneled cash to a Chinese foreign agent. And when she was doing this for campaign ads, I go to the article. During her bid for re-election in 2022, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez paid for advertising in a newspaper registered as a Chinese foreign agent. It's been revealed that during her bid for re-election, she was doing this. The Department of Justice deemed Tsingtao newspapers, the U.S. subsidiary of Hong Kong-based Tsingtao News Corporation, to be pro-Beijing and forced it to register as a foreign agent in August of 2021. AOC's campaign shelled out thousands of dollars for advertisements in the Chinese language newspaper, which publishes in New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. The decision to work with Tsingtao was made long after the DOJ had classified it as a foreign agent.
If you want to know where the decisions are being made, follow the money. This is what I mean by like be prepared. You have to keep your eyes out. Ensure that like you are taking everything, every bit of information with a grain of salt. You know how all the World War stories go. All of how the propaganda, the misinformation, the fog of war. I've said this multiple times in the last few videos. But not only do we have like a bubbling sibling war in this country with misleading propaganda between blue and red on domestic dispute, you're going to have piled on top of that international propaganda. And it just becomes it's a huge mess. That's why you needed to stay on top of things and like being sure that you can keep getting information from verified places. And if you can't, then you have to operate with both sides being an option and keeping yourself fully flexible for what may come.
Fellow members of the Democrat House Caucus, Kevin Mullen and Grace Mung, also paid thousands and thousands of dollars to display ads in the paper, as did another conservative member of the House Republican Caucus, Rep. Nicole Malliotakis. This is not the first time that AOC was featured in the newspaper. Prior to its designation as a foreign agent, the paper covered a 2020 foreign language media roundtable in which she had taken part in. So you're applauding a newspaper of an authoritarian regime that attacked peaceful protesters in Hong Kong.
It always stacks up to something like this, doesn't it? It's crazy. I'm sure there's more to come with what's going on with this Chinese spy balloon. Yeah, prayers go out to people in Montana, man, in case they do shoot it down. I can only imagine if you are somebody who's like even in that area or nearby, you're probably terrified. You're probably thinking like, what in the world is going on? I can only imagine the fear that hits in someone's soul when they realize even their own government isn't coming to help them. And it's not like the spy balloon's attacking anybody. But I imagine it's not. If you're the guy who owns that farm out there who looks up and it's just like, it's 15 miles above you in the sky, I'm sure you don't feel the most protected and safe right now either. So more to come. I'll keep you updated. Peace.